Non-computer-based processing and social and ethical issues. Non-computer tools are used to support understanding how the processing in an information system transforms data into information. Prior to computers, humans have performed most processing using rulers and calculators. Documentation. Inform uses the procedures of processing. Detailed and structured description of instructions to be followed step by step. Example instruction manuals. Contains a user manual provided by the companies to explain their products. Procedures are a series of steps required to complete a process successfully. Procedural documentation is often in written form or as a printed manual. Data flow diagrams, also known as DFD, are a graphical method of showing a system using a number of processes together with inputs, outputs, and storage. Shows the flow of data between information processes in a system. Documents essential details of the system such as the sequence, processes, and precise rules for a particular action. For each identified procedural document should include what the task is and why is it required. The general statement should include the overall process and its purpose, how the task relates to the other tasks within the system, who is responsible for the task and who performs the task. Diagrammatic representation of processing. Diagrams are able to communicate complex information and relationships between processes within a system rather than using text. Various techniques to show processes diagrammatically, representing processing within information systems. Symbols for data flow diagram. Process. Processes are the inputs or outputs of data. Data flow. Data flow arrows are used to show the movement of data between processes and external entities. External entity. External entities represent people or organizations that process or receive data from processes from a source or location. Data store. Data store represents as an open-ended rectangle is where data is stored. Can be either computerized, example databases, or manual, example hard disk and filing cabinets. The symbol doesn't differentiate between computer-based and non-computer-based storage.
Social and ethical issues that arise from processing of information includes privacy of individuals, security of data and information, accuracy of data and information, changing nature of work, appropriate information use, health and safety, copyright laws. Some ethical issues concerns are who can perform processing, what type of processing can they perform, who owns and has the right to view processed data, are the processing that have been performed legitimate. These social and ethical issues can affect participants within the information system, those with the purpose, environment. The widespread use of information technology has raised a number of ethical issues for people. These are some of the issues that relate specifically to the processing data. The type of processing raises issues of security and flexibility. This type of processing raises issues of security and flexibility is about centralized processing and distributing processing. One major concern when data is distributed is that computers will have a lower security. When data is stored in only one device, it can achieve higher security. Therefore, centralized processing is more secure than distributing processing. The positive side to distributing processing is more flexible and is not dependent on one centralized computer. Ownership of processed data. The ownership of processed data is about the ownership of data. Ownership of processed data. The ownership of processed data is about the ownership of data. Data is questioned on who it belongs to and who are allowed to access it. The cost and use of static RAM and DRAM. The major concerns of RAM costing more than DRAM. The use of cache, high-speed memory. It is a high-speed memory located between the CPU and RAM. It improves performance by using the use of cache high-speed memory. It is a high-speed memory located between the CPU and RAM. It improves performance by using SRAM and reducing the need for the CPU to access the lower. The use of cache high-speed memory. It is a high-speed memory located between the CPU and RAM. It improves performance by using SRAM and reducing the need for the CPU to access the slower DRAM.